Welcome back. As you know, I'm Eli, the computer guy, here for the Daily Blob, the world-famous, self-hating, fake Jew, to ask the question, if this is anti-Semitism, could somebody please define for me pro-Semitism again, just so I can make sure which side of history I actually want to be on? So I think this is interesting. And so I'm talking about these stories as far as Israel is concerned, because I think it's curious in the modern world with this whole idea of branding countries, right? The president of my country has gone off the fucking rails, And so there's this whole question about, who our allies are, who different countries should be associating with, why they should be associating with those different countries. And I think it's interesting from the idea of branding nationalities, right? They talk about this with the latest Superman movie, right? It was Truth, Justice, and the honest way. I think they took out truth, justice, and the American way and substituted something else way. And one of the reasons is, right, Hollywood is a massive industry, and nowadays they try to sell their content to everybody around the world. And, the American way, let's just say different people may look at that phrase in a different context, right? And so I think it's kind of curious to be thinking about, right, with these large corporations and having different people make the decision on who they're going to buy from, right? Instead of it being Coke versus Pepsi, as we change the world order, it's the United States versus China. You think about artificial intelligence, right? So we're creating, the United States and the quote-unquote Western world is creating artificial intelligence products. China is creating artificial intelligence products. And I think there's going to be a big dynamic that's going to come to the fore as people in different countries literally decide which stack they want to be on. Do they want to be on essentially the US stack, or do they want to be on the China stack? And, with everything going on in the world, everything from wars and genocides and AI diffusion rules and all of that kind of stuff, people deciding essentially what they want to purchase. I find this very interesting now, especially with Israel, because there is a tremendous amount of American technology investment going into Israel. NVIDIA is investing billions of dollars into Israel. Intel was going to invest $20 billion new investment into Israel. That's gone sideways because of economic concerns. And there's an interesting question there of, when you see how much of the population feels about the ethnic cleansing going on in the Gaza Strip right now, when you see, as of today, there were 2 Israeli human rights groups that have now classified what's going on in the Gaza Strip. These Israeli human rights groups classified what's going on in the Gaza Strip as genocide. The whole question of, what happens when your brand gets tainted with genocide, right? NVIDIA, genocide inside. Think about that. Think about that with China. China can be like, hey, do you want to buy our AI product? We are going to be more than happy to sell to anybody who wants it. Or do you want to buy the AI product, that's created with pure Palestinian baby blood? You can make the decision. And this becomes a very interesting thing in this more and more polarized world. And basically, how do people make those decisions? I'd be curious to see how this works out. So this is from Greece. This is from, just to be clear, this is from the Times of Israel. And this is in Greece. Greece condemns outrageous protest that barred Israeli cruise ship from docking. Quote, anti-Semitism will not be tolerated. So Greece is pro-Semitism. This is one of the things I want to start talking about, because they always say that with anti-Semitism, right? You don't want to be seen as anti-Semitic. And one of the things you have to think about with this word choice, oh my golly, I don't want us to be seen as anti-Semitic, because anti-Semitic is Nazi, and I don't want to be seen as a Nazi. But if you turn that around, it's like, oh, so you're pro-Semitic. So pro-Semitic means Israel has the right to slaughter everybody in the Gaza Strip. Israel has the right to have people under martial law for literal decades, for generations, right? Israel has the right to commit whatever war crimes they want, to commit whatever crimes against humanity that they want. Literally, the ICC has brought charges against Benjamin Netanyahu, and the answer from America is to put sanctions on the ICC. So, to be clear, pro-Semite means you believe the Israelis can damn do whatever the hell they want to do, no matter how god-awful and disgusting that is. So the Greek government is for the slaughter and starvation of Gazan babies. Just to be clear, Greek government, I want to understand where you stand. The Greek government is for the slaughter of Palestinian babies. Because that's pro-Semitic, right? That's pro-Semitic. If you protest is anti-Semitic. If you protest the death of Palestinian babies, if that's anti-Semitic, ergo that means pro-Semitic means you're for the starvation of babies. Is that what the Greek politicians are really trying to go for here? So anyways, I think this is kind of curious though, to be thinking about, how all of this is going to spiral out, right? In the modern age of social media, in the modern age where people are told you have to do something, you have to say something, in this modern age, as the structures we've built over decades, are falling apart, what does that end up looking like? A day after a large anti-Israel, pro-Palestinian protest prevented an Israeli-owned cruise ship from docking at the Greek island of Syros, forcing its 1,600 passengers to reroute to Cyprus, Greek government spokesperson Pavlos Marinakis condemns the outrageous incident, stating that, quote, any form of anti-Semitism will not be tolerated. By God, if you don't crush a Palestinian baby head under your foot, you're just not a real Greek. Curious thing with this, right? So the Israeli cruise ship, right? It's hard. Hey, I understand, right? Workflows are hard. Work is hard, right? You have 1,600 hardworking Israelis, right? They have been doing ethnic cleansing for what? At least 3 years now, right? There's the ethnic cleansing that you've been watching for the past number of years, but then realize, man, they have been at this ethnic cleansing project for decades. They need some time off. They need some time to relax, a little bit of me time before they go back to starving those Palestinian babies, right? So basically you have this, the Israeli cruise ship comes, there's 1,600 people. There are 200 protesters. 200 protesters. Actually not that many when you think about it, right? Wait a minute, 200? Anyways, they're out there. They were protesting. They were protesting in the sight of the ship. The Israelis on the ship decided they did not feel comfortable disembarking in this place where there were protesters, which is fair enough, right? So Israelis are tired of ethnic cleansing. They have to have a little me time. They decide to go to this island. 200 Greeks on the island say, we don't want you. They leave. Right? That seems right, fair enough. Completely peaceful protesters off to the side. The Israelis could see it, but they knew they weren't wanted. Quote, anti-Semitism and any form of fascism and racism will not be tolerated in Greece, Marinakis says in an interview addressing the incident. By golly, if you don't believe in starving Palestinian kids, you're just no Greek. Quote, I consider what happened in Syros to be outrageous. How dare Greeks speak against ethnic cleansing? I, as an American, dear Greeks, will remember that sentiment the next time you have a problem with the Turks. The next time Greece and Turkey run into a bit of issues, I will remember to keep my mouth shut. Is that what the Greek government wants? There are no words to describe it. It is an incident which I must say on behalf of the Greek government is isolated, and the authorities must do everything in their power to ensure that nothing like this ever happens again. Right? The ethnic cleansers should be able to vacation in peace. Come on now. Quote, every necessary measure must be taken to ensure that in such incidents, citizens are protected regardless of where they come from, their origin, religion, or anything else. Right? This was a completely peaceful protest. The Israelis decided not to disembark. Quote, protesting is not prohibited. If citizens need to be relocated to a place where they can carry out their demonstration perfectly well, then that must happen. And one of the things you hear now is the idea with these governments is simply relocate the protesters out of the view of the ethnic cleansers. I mean, the one thing that is going to really force the Israeli nationals to come to terms with the complete and utter horror that they have bestowed upon this world is to make sure that the protesters are well out of view. You don't want the evil people to be confronted with the evil that they're doing. He adds, noting that caution is needed regarding this very fine line between a protest and an act directed against any individual, regardless of their origin or religion. Quote, if certain individuals whose behavior falls under provisions of the anti-racism laws should be arrested, then they must be arrested. Right? You better punish your citizens. How dare the citizens of Greece speak out? You want to make sure the jackbooted stormtroopers are there so that they understand where their freedom ends. Marquinhos emphasizes that there is, quote, no issue in Greece-Israel relations as a result of the incident. Before the decision was made to reroute the ship to Cyprus, Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar spoke to his Greek counterpart, Georgios to request Athens' intervention in resolving this issue. We have heard that your citizens have said things we don't like to hear. We want to make sure that this issue is resolved. Yeah. They think they're winning, don't they? They think they're winning. That's a sad part too. They're like, yeah, we're winning. You're winning something. Play stupid games. You're going to win gloriously stupid prizes. And I think this is going to be a curious problem going into the future. I talked about this in Belgium, right? In Belgium, you had two IDF soldiers that were arrested. They were part of some brigade. They flashed their brigade flag around. There was somebody there that saw that. Apparently that brigade may or may not have been involved with crimes against humanity or war crimes or whatever. So the Belgian officials were, quote unquote, forced to arrest them. They went in, they got interrogated, and they were let go. But they were arrested for attending a music concert in Belgium. We've seen this, I've talked about this with the doxing website for IDF soldiers from Canada, right? You have Canadians that are also Israeli. They serve in the IDF. They go over, to kill the shit out of the Palestinians. And now there's a website out there that's trying to dox as many of them as possible so that everybody knows who these people are, so that when they come back to Canada, everybody knows that they were part of the cleansing that is going on, and Canadians can decide how they feel about their own citizens being part of these atrocities. All right, we're starting to see more and more of this, and it's curious just to note how the Israelis are losing control of the story, right? They're so focused on the Holocaust narrative. Don't you remember the Holocaust, right? Holocaust denial. But the curious part about this isn't Holocaust denial. This isn't about the Holocaust. This isn't about the Torah. This isn't about gefilte fish, right? This isn't about the Israeli religion or the Jewish religion, right? This is about the evil that Israel is perpetrating upon basically everybody in the region, and how the rest of the world is basically getting exhausted by it, like completely and utterly tired. I mean, think about this as an American citizen, right? I am told, I served in the Army. My father served in the Navy. His father served in the Navy. My great-great-grandfather served in the Army. My stepfather retired Navy. His father retired Army, right? We have a long tradition of military service in my family. And I am being told as an American that World War III, that our soldiers, our men and women may be dragged into a slaughter because of fucking Israel. Right? Because Israel can't get along with any of its fucking neighbors. Because it is impossible for Israel to have peace in the geographic location that they are in the world. We are informed as American citizens that our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren are supposed to be sent off to the fucking slaughter, the fucking meat grinder, because these people are incapable of living with the people around them. And then they're like, oh, wow, why are you irritated? Right? Our weapons. Right? Trump is on his knees slobbering to Netanyahu. Please think I'm a real man, right? An alpha dog. We don't need a dog in the White House. We need a man in the White House. That fucking dog is slobbering over Netanyahu, sending our B-2 bombers halfway around the world to drop bombs on Iran. These are acts of war that don't even go through our Congress. Oh, but it's anti-Semitism. The reason that I'm fucking pissed is because of gefilte fish. The reason I'm pissed is because of the fucking Torah. No, you stupid, senile people. The reason we are furious is because you are a disgusting fucking country that doesn't seem to grasp the evil you're perpetrating and how you're trying to drag everybody else into it. Right, that's why we're fucking pissed. And then we hear there's a protest, 200 people protesting in Greece. They're not protesting the deaths of Palestinian babies. They're not protesting the genocide that the Israeli human rights organizations have already stated is occurring. No, it's something about the fucking Torah. And you see the Greeks, right? The Greek government coming out. Are they on the side of the people, or are they on their knees? And this is what's making people furious. And I would say, dear Israelis, any Israelis that are still watching, this is a bad call. This is a bad call. This isn't anti-Semitism. These are your actual actions are beyond horrific. Right? But anyways, it'll be curious. It'll be curious to see how this goes. It'll be curious to see whether our young people are sent off to the chipper shredder just to make Netanyahu happy. It'll be curious to see how many and how long the politicians for so many countries decide to be on the Israeli side versus on their people's side. So anyways, there you go. Some things to ponder. Some things to think about. What do you think about this? What do you think about the Greek government coming out and saying protesting Israel is anti-Semitic? Protesting Israel's actions right now. Protesting what Israel's own human rights organizations call a genocide is anti-Semitic. What do you think about them wanting to move the protesters out of view, right? Of the people that are just exhausted from slaughtering an entire population. What do you think about the Greek government essentially showing what side of all this they're really on? And how long do you think that will be able to last? I don't know. The hell is that? That is loud. I don't know if you can hear that. Something loud is going by. Doo-doo-doo. So anyways, put your thoughts down below. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs down. Say I'm an amazing person Or tell me exactly what kind of god-awful fake Jew I am. I'm not a Jew. I'm not. I'm a corn-fed Ohio boy. I'm like Ohio, West Virginia. I don't know. It's a whole Midwest menagerie in there. I'm not Jewish. For the Klan members out there, I'm not Jewish. For the Zionists out there, I'm not Jewish. For all the racists out there, I'm not actually Jewish. It's just a name. It's just a name. Anyways, put your thoughts down below. And with that, see y'all later.